The strawberries from my garden were finally ready, and I've been exploring recipes, so let's make these cinnamon buns with strawberry frosting. I'm starting out with 1 cup of milk. I use almond milk and I let it warm for a bit because this helps to let the yeast do its thing. I added 2.5 teaspoons of yeast and a 1/4 cup of sugar to the warm milk, and we're going to let that cool for a bit. Now we need a 1/4 cup of butter, which is about half a stick of butter, and I'm going to melt that. Go ahead and I crack an egg and remove the eyes. I always do that because the eyes, it removes the rawness from the eggs. After the butter has melted, then I added the butter to the eggs and about 1 teaspoon of salt. Now the yeast is activated and I'm added that to the mixer. Gradually added my flour. This was about 3.5 cups of flour. Knead it in. I like to start with a spoon, guys. Yes, and then I go in with my hands to knead it in properly. This is like making bread. If you have a stand mixer, you can go ahead and use a stand mixer, but it's easy enough because it reminds me of making my fried dumpling, kneading a dumpling or making some flour. Then you're going to let that rest for about an hour to let the yeast activate, and it's going to double in size. So you cover it and put it in a warm place. I usually just leave it on the stove top, turn on the oven lights, and it usually does its thing. Double up inside. You want to punch it and get out that air. Now you saw me mixing melted butter, softened butter, cinnamon, and some sugar. You determine how much. I didn't want mine too sweet, so I didn't add too much sugar. I added maybe about a half cup of sugar and about 3 teaspoons of cinnamon to about 1 stick of butter, softened butter. Roll out the dough and I spread the butter mixture on, and then I'm going to divide it up. I got about 8 cinnamon rolls from this, and you want to get your baking dish ready. And again, you're going to let it rise one more time, and this time it was about for 15 minutes. Next, I bake in the oven for at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. Now, instead of buying icing, I blended up my fresh strawberries with a little icing sugar to make this simple strawberry glaze. Tell me, how many of these would you eat right now?